I've never met a man whose father loved him and went out there and committed mass atrocities. The father's love brings identity, brings purpose, brings love to the heart of every son. Stand to your feet, man. Well, I had the great opportunity of meeting Pastor Lemon at a conference last year in 2017, and I was ministering to pastors about the importance of being good fathers. And he had told me that he was going to be doing a men's conference right here in the Jamestown area, and he invited me to come, and I was so excited that I had the opportunity to speak well over to 60 men. Yeah, I get the question all the time from people with all the different atrocities that are taking place around the country. Recently, we saw the young man murder 17 people. Within the Chicagoland area, young people are dying weekly as well. And I get the question all the time from people, Pastor Louis, what are we doing? We're at a crossroad right now. How do we get ourselves out of this? All of this is the root cause of fatherlessness. When a child grows up without a father, now typically this is not what's going to be talked about, but when a child grows up without a father, they lack identity, they lack purpose, they don't know who they are. Ultimately, for many people, it can lead to a life of violence.
How do you...
Well, God is a father, and that's what we all need to realize. That's why we all come into a personal relationship with Christ, because God is a father. It's written on every human heart that we're to be fathered. We cry out for a father. The child wants to know who their father is. And through God's word, God gave us a promise in Malachi chapter 4, 5, and 6, that the day would come that men would turn their hearts back toward their children and the hearts of children back to their father. I think men need to take responsibility. I mean, obviously, I don't advocate for any types of improprieties within the workplace, but men need to take responsibility. And the number one thing we need to do as men is regain our identity. Who are we as men? God created us to be fathers, caregivers, nurturers. Now watch, anytime a man does not understand his identity, he will abuse those around him. The reason many young people turn to drugs and different types of addictions, it's not just drug addictions. There's other drug addictions that are there as well. Sexual addiction's one of them. The problem is once again, when something lacks identity, we turn to self-destruction. That's what addictions do. They destroy us from within. Why? We don't understand who we are. We don't understand our purpose. And that actually comes from a father. You know, just this past year, I've raised up a lot of young people within my own ministry. Young people that I've loved and served and fathered, spiritually fathered them. And I've watched myself at times go through situations where the relationship hadn't always worked out. And so often as a father, you want the child to reconcile the situation. But recently, God has shown me that the reconciliation, even though if the father's, without placing blame, the reconciliation needs to start with the father. The father has to turn his heart back to the young person, back toward his child and back toward this generation. So I identify today with a lot of men who go through that.